Hello and welcome to watch this video. I'm Jarkko Hytienen and I'm author of Just Because One Can blog, which you can find from address JB1C.blog. This video is about identity governance with Microsoft tools. Below the video, you can find a link to the corresponding blog post. In this demonstration, I'm going to show a couple of use cases and some observations related to these. This environment is built just for this demonstration, so keep in mind the following. This has not been tested for production readiness. I have no comments on licensing, and I have only implemented features needed for this video. Then a couple of words about the environment itself. We have two AzureAD tenants. First one is used as a synchronization target, and the second one is used as a collaboration partner. On the on-premise side, we have three servers. First one is Active Directory Domain Controller. The second one is Identity Manager as a single server setup. And the third one is AzureAD Connect. So let's go to the Identity Manager server. And as you can see, I have there as well the LeafNet autosync that handles the synchronization tasks for Identity Manager. And I actually have there also the AzureAD application proxy component that I'm going to use later on the demonstration. Since this is a demonstration environment, it's actually empty at the moment. So let's begin by creating a couple of objects to play with. First, I'm going to connect to my primary AzureAD tenant, and I'm using application ID and certificate for authentication. Now we are creating a couple of on-premise objects. I'm creating on-prem user 1, then I'm creating on-prem user 2, and for the user 2, I'm setting the user 1 as manager, and then I'm creating on-prem group 1, and I'm setting on-prem user 1 as a manager of that group. Right. Next, we want to make sure that these objects get to the AzureAD as well. So we're starting a Delta sync from the AzureAD Connect. And let's see how it goes. At least we did find those three new objects. And it seems that we did also export those ones. Okay, back to the Identity Manager server. We are now ready to create some AzureAD security groups. We are creating AzureAD Azure Group 1 and Azure Group 2. And then we're setting on-prem user 1 as the group owner for the Azure Group 1. Right, we're ready. So now, normally, the synchronization schedules would handle the synchronizations for these objects to Identity Manager, but I want to speed up the demonstration a bit. So let's kick off a Delta import profile for our Azure Management Agent. And as we can see, we did also export something to the portal as well. I think we're ready to try to log in with our newly created on-prem user 1 to the identity management portal. So let's open the portal address. And yeah, I know I haven't configured the single sign-on. So I know I haven't set the intranet site list accordingly, but I'm not demonstrating this one, so let's continue. Okay, now you can see that we have a pretty much standard portal. And well, let's go through some of the functionalities. First off, let's see if we can see the created security groups. And yes, we can see the one that we are manager of. And for the users, we can see ourselves and the second user that we are a manager of. Then I'm going to demonstrate a couple of custom functionalities I've built to this environment. First, I'm going to demonstrate access review functionality. And for that one, I'm making a couple of attribute changes. And as you can see, for the on-prem user 2, we're setting review include the process to true, and we're setting review timestamp far enough to the past. And actually, these two changes will also trigger a third one change. That's stating the user is currently active for review. And now, if we go to the users and access review, we should be able to see the user here. But because of how the demonstration is built, I will have to do one IIS reset, or in this case, I'm going to just recycle the pool because it's a bit quicker. Right, let's try again. Now we're seeing the user that's currently active for review by our test account. On actual review case, the person doing the review should, of course, check all the details. And I guess the most important one would be the actual permissions given to a specific user. This time, we don't have those visible, but let's continue. What I wanted to show you here is the access review functionality I've implemented. So basically, now it shows that review hasn't been done, and the date is quite far in the past. When I'm ready with the details, I can check in that I've done the review right now, and I can submit the form. If I refresh the list, I can see that I've done with the review, and it's ready. Let's look how it shows on the user details. So now it shows the review has been done today, and it's done by on-prem user 1. Right. The same can be done for the groups as well, but I'm not going to show it to you again here. But I'm going to show you inviting business-to-business guest users to AzureAD. So I have created a custom object type and custom form for creating the user. Let's create invite with the following details. And the user account exists in the collaboration tenant already. We're just creating an invite to use our services. And for mobile phone, I'm using something else than my own, just not showing the actual number in this video. And what happens on the background is that I'm running a PowerShell script. PowerShell script is sending a customized invite message, and it's also setting some extra attributes. Those extra attributes are most important parts are mobile phone and strong authentication methods. And I'm going to show you in a moment why I want to set those. As you can see, the invite has been sent, and the same script initiated import from Azure, and it's exported to our portal. And now for this demonstration, I'm actually updating the phone number to be my own actual phone number. Just for the purpose of showing what is better with the custom-made invite process, I'm also going to invite another user with the standard invitation process. Right. And for the following steps, I'm also going to set this primary guest user account as a group owner for Azure Group 2. And I'm also going to make some attribute changes. Or I would be making those. Let's see. Let's run Delta import. It seems that we're missing one object from the identity manager. Okay, let's try again. Yes, now we have it. And we're setting a custom attribute called MIM managed Azure group to true. And that's basically allowing us for the read-write permissions to that group. Right, now to the part where I'm showing the big difference between the standard and the customized invite process. So the case is that when you send invite, you will send the invite link that can be used for accessing your service. But in fact, the user doesn't have to use the link if he already knows address for your service. And the address can be something simple like login.mycompany.com. But for our case, I'm going to use the application I've published through the application proxy. And first, I'm going to show you what happens with the user invited with standard invitation process. So far, everything looks good. But this is the big problem with the standard invitation process. Because on the first login, there is no true MFA. And I can show you that for my primary tenant, I have conditional access policy that requires multi-factor authentication for all users for all applications. And still, for the first login, directly to the application without the invitation link, the MFA is not happening. Instead, I can set the strong authentication methods however I want. I can set, for example, the mobile app in whichever device to handle the MFA authentication. And I think that's a real big problem if you're having some highly visible public service and you're having maybe thousands of guest users invited who yet haven't accepted the invitation. That means you have thousands of accounts without the protection of MFA. Let's see what's different with my custom-made invitation process. We're going again to the same application, but this time we're going to use the custom-made invitation, which means that for this specific user, we have set mobile and we have set strong authentication methods. And for strong authentication methods, we have preferred SMS. And let's see. As you can see, now we have true MFA from the first login. And I think that's a big difference. I currently don't know any way of achieving this besides the way I'm doing it here. Okay, and now we're to the last thing I wanted to show you, and that's the way of giving your on-premise identity manager portal to be used by your guest users in Azure. And as you can see, I've logged in as a guest user, the one that we just invited, and I can utilize all the same processes and functionalities that I have already implemented on-premise. I'm going to show you only one, and that's security groups. And we should be able to see the group that we are set as owner of. And for this example, I'm going to set some members. So I'm setting another, well, basically I'm setting myself as a member of that group. And OK. And let's see what happens. OK, this time it didn't catch it, but normally it would. Let's do a delta import. And we're seeing that we're exporting the change to Azure. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, I'm more than happy to answer to you. Thanks. Bye-bye.